What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to talk about Solana, specifically what is going to be the next move for Solana. Is it possible that Solana is still going to keep going up all the way till the $140 range, or is this the end of the uptrend, that is the top, and for now we are going to go for a deep retracement, just like what I'm predicting for Bitcoin. Now, speaking about Bitcoin, if you watched the last video that I made about Bitcoin, I'm expecting a fairly deep retracement on Bitcoin, and if you are interested in finding out exactly which price Bitcoin is going to go, I highly encourage you to watch that video after this one. But for now, let's just understand that Bitcoin is going on a downtrend, and so we need to now figure out what that means for Solana. And there are three things that I'm going to cover specifically. One is a bullish scenario, number two is a bearish scenario, and number three is a short-term scenario, so that for the macro investor, for the macro shorter, and also for the short-term trader, you are going to have a game plan and you will get value from this video. So without any further ado, let's dive right into it. So looking at the big picture at the moment, I can definitely tell you that the Solana uptrend, at least on a macro scale, has not yet been broken, which also means that this here, even though it's been like a 30 to 40% drop, is really only, even though from the top to the bottom has been close to a 40% drop, is just a retracement in an overall uptrend. And until we get like really clear signals that, the trend is broken already and stuff is going to go to zero, we shouldn't start hopping to conclusions that, this is over, because at least from a weekly perspective, it's not. And on the daily perspective, sure, you might go lower still, but overall, you're still in an uptrend. And the goal when you are in an overall bullish market is that you want to be buying dips. You want to look for retracements so that you can buy them in order for price to form new highs. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, even though I say that on the weekly perspective, on the daily perspective, it's not looking the best, because you definitely have a confirmed change of character, and there is one saving grace for Solana still, which would lead to much more explosive up movements, but I'm going to get into that later. For now, at least on the daily chart, it's not looking the most pretty, but there is still hope for Solana to go up. Now, before I do get into that saving grace, I do need you to understand first that if we are expecting a deep retracement on Bitcoin, it's pretty normal to also expect a deep retracement on the altcoins such as Solana. And in this case, where is Solana likely to go? In my opinion, there is a real possibility that Solana goes all the way to $50, because at the moment, I'm expecting Bitcoin to dump by almost 50% over the next 3 months. And if that is the case, well, you bet Solana is going to also follow that trend. In fact, Solana is going to bleed more, because when Bitcoin goes down, altcoins tend to go even more down. That is usually the case in the crypto markets. So the reason why I say $50 is because there is sell-side liquidity over here on the daily chart, where you have relatively equal lows at this area. And the reason why this matters has a lot to do with market psychology. A lot of the times when retail traders see relatively equal lows, when they see price bouncing off on the same level twice in a row, and possibly even 3 times, boom, this area automatically becomes quote-unquote support. And absolutely anyone that bought Solana between these prices would still be in profit at the moment, because price is currently here, and if you bought here, you're still in profit. And retail traders, being retail traders, have a tendency to not take profit because they think that price is going to continue higher, which it might, but you still need to take profit on the way up, so that in the event that the market trend changes and price retraces to come back to your entry, you're not too worried, because you already took profit and now you can buy again in order to cycle your money into the next movement. But that's not how most retail traders operate. Either they take profit too soon or they don't take profit at all. And this is where the market makers come in. So one thing you must understand about the market makers: number one, they move the markets. Number two, they really don't like you making money, because whenever you make money, they are the ones paying you out of their own pocket. Whenever you win a trade, that money is coming from somewhere. And most often, it's coming from a market maker, which means it's in their best interest to make you lose as much money as possible. Did they do that? Well, if you are in profit here and you still haven't taken any profit, guess where they're going to come back to? Because they know that you either have liquidation levels here, you have your stop loss here, people are looking to buy here, whatever it is. There's just a very high concentration of orders around this level, and also around the $68 level, which is a key level in my opinion. Although if Bitcoin were to dump 50%, I would much more expect for Solana to go all the way to 50 rather than 68. I would think that Solana would have a higher chance of going all the way to $50 rather than just stopping at 68. But 68 is going to be a pretty good buy level as well in the macro scale. Although I wouldn't scale in too much here, maybe 25% of my capital, and I would focus the majority of my capital at around the $50 mark. Sure, is this going to take quite a long while? Yeah, sure. This is how macro movements work. It usually takes a period of about 3 to 4 months. And it just so happens that in about 3 months, it's going to be the Bitcoin halving and the bull market is going to kickstart again. So preparing yourself for this eventual retracement is a really smart thing to do, and is something that will make you literally thousands or tens of thousands of dollars over the upcoming months. those who are prepared here are going to reap the rewards of it, because chances are, by the time you get to this point here, the overall market sentiment, everything you see on Twitter, everything you see on the news, and just anything in general, the market makers are going to try their absolute best to make you feel that the bull market's over, it's never going to come back, and it's going to instill a lot of fear, doubt, and uncertainty in you. And that is what they want. They want you to lose interest in the market. They want you to lose interest in the market. They want you to sell low so that they can buy low, so that they can eventually sell high, and so that you lose all the potential of making generational wealth during this bull market. And speaking of making generational wealth, if you've enjoyed all the tips that I've shared in this video so far, you are going to love the newsletter, because every week I'm sharing actionable trading tips that you can apply into your trading right away to start making more money. If you are not on the newsletter, you're really missing out. And the best part is it's absolutely free. All you have to do is click the link in the description box below and you're in. But anyways, now that we've established the fact that the best prices to buy Solana, at least from a macro scale, is going to be around $50 and $70, let's move on to some more juicier topics. So earlier on, I said that Solana is still overall in an uptrend, and there would be a short-term saving grace for Solana if you are a bull. And that comes in the form of this range. So if you look at price currently, price just swept the range low over here, where you have the range high, that's your range low, and you just swept. And what happens when you sweep a range low is that you go to the opposite side of the range. Now, assuming that Solana still has bullishness intact, there is a very real possibility that after this range low sweep, Solana just leads to forming new highs. And the high that we're targeting in particular is $140. Now, the one other time that this has happened on Solana, and by the way, this range deviation thing happens all the time in every single asset class, but just in the perspective of Solana, after you sweep the range low here, you go to the range high, and sure, you come pretty close back to the range low, but afterwards you explode. So even if we expect something similar on Solana, in the short term, you still have an opportunity, because now that you've just swept the range low, and given that fact that our relatively equal highs over here, you know, it's a pretty easy play to just target a range high, maybe go for a little retracement, and depending on how the market reacts, this is your opportunity to go for a long again in order to target new highs, and the highs in this case will be about $138. This lines up with this daily swing high. It goes back to market psychology, where if you have taken a short at any point here, I know it's been over a year by now at this point, a year and a half in fact, but there are people that hold their shorts for an insane amount of time, just like how there are probably still people shorting all the way from $250 and they still haven't taken profit for whatever reason. I don't know, probably because they're just stupid. And I don't want you guys to be stupid people, but in order to not be stupid, you need to understand market psychology. These people that are in profit here, and there are also a lot of people looking to short above this price, maybe putting the stop loss above this price, maybe they short it here and put the stop loss here, whatever it is, there's just a really high concentration of liquidity in this area, and it's going to be an area that the market makers are going to bring the price to. This is a concept known as a draw on liquidity, and in the event that this is indeed the bottom and you start pumping, just keep going long until you hit $140 and you're going to make money. It's as simple as that, really. So all in all, let's break it down. In terms of the overall crypto market sentiment, it wouldn't be unusual for Solana to go all the way down to $70 or even $50, which would be really good macro buying areas. God forbid you come all the way down to $40, which would be even better of a buying price. I'm just going to mark it out here. So in the event that you do enter that area, well, just keep buying, because just like how pretty much nobody was buying Solana all the way down at, $15, $20, this is going to be another $15, $20 Solana in comparison to what's about to happen in the bull run. And everybody who bought here pretty much got like a 5x, or some people, if they bought the bottom, would have got almost a 10x. So the next bull market is going to be insane. So these are your generational buying opportunities. Now, I'm not saying exactly that Solana will 100% come all the way down to this level right away. Now, eventually it will. But at the moment, if we just look at current price action right now, here, today, right now, Solana is still looking bullish, and the bullish target for Solana is going to be $138. And the short-term bullish setup is going to be playing this range here, where you just sweat the range low and you can target the range high. And it's as simple as that. After the range high, probably something like this, and then, boom. So this is still on the table, given the fact that on the weekly chart, Solana hasn't still yet lost everything. The only criteria that I would look at for Solana to just go all the way down to $50 is that after you sweep this range high here, you immediately start breaking the low and then retracing back, trying to break above the low, right? Coming into just resistance, order block, feather gap, whatever you want to call. This is called a PD array, and you fail to break that and you start making a lower low. In this case, just keep shorting all the way down to $50 and you're going to make a ton of money on Solana. And ideally, if that happens, please take your profit on Solana and just buy back lower, because that is going to be an absolute certainty. Now, over the upcoming days, I'm going to be filming a lot of videos doing many analyses on other coins so that you can be best prepared for what's about to happen over the next 2-3 months. If there's a coin that you would really love to see me chart, I want you to drop it in the comments down below, and while you're at it, drop a like on this video. It really helps me out a ton. And until then, I'm going to see you in the next video. Trade safe and may the gains be with you. Bye bye.